Hello everyone, Triple here, and welcome back to the next season of the NNDL. They decided just before Gen 9 they want to do another season here, which I'm not really all too fussed about this season. Usually I really want to win, but this season I kind of wanted to just get stuff that I really thought was like fun or interesting. The first pick doesn't reflect that at all, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I adopted some really cool Pokemon. Probably next season I'm gonna be trying a little bit harder again because there's gonna be new Pokemon to try out. And one of my favorite seasons was the season where I drafted Toxtricity G-Max right after it got announced, and nobody really knew what it was doing and stuff like that. So I really like using new Pokemon in draft. So Gen 9 is gonna be like a big thing for that. But for now I've just got some really fun Pokemon and I'm kind of gonna just see how it goes. And like I said, the first one doesn't reflect fun at all because yeah, I got Kyurem Black. When I first, because I barely had a plan for this draft, there was one Pokemon I really wanted, which is the next one after this, and I wanted to pair it with a Dragon type. And at first I was thinking like Dragapult. Dragapult in draft seems really fun, but I had 7th pick and it was gone by like 3rd pick. So then I started looking at like Gomo and like all other Dragon types. Hexorus came up at one point, and then I saw Kyurem. I didn't know they had like bans on some of the stuff on Kyurem, but Kyurem is one of those Pokemon that, like, even with bans, it's still really good. Because look at those stats. It has like one of the strongest attacks in the entire game. Like, I think it's top 8 strongest attack, which makes it very hard to counter. It has like Icicle Spear and Fusion Bolt, which makes it very powerful. Terrafold makes it really handy because it ignores abilities. So like, for instance, Volt Absorb Lantern wouldn't be able to eat a Bolt Strike, stuff like that. And it's just very scary to go in on. And even like if I don't use that attack stat, its attack is still really good. It has nothing under 90, which is insane. But yeah, Daring Dance and Skill Shot are banned. I can still boost my speed with like Scarfs or Tailwinds or like get speed buffs other ways, like Adrenaline Orb, stuff like that. But those two are banned because it is still Kyurem Black and it is still really strong. So I'm okay with that. I didn't know it when I drafted it, but I'm fine with it. It's still gonna be a very interesting Pokemon to use. And the Pokemon I wanted to pair that with was Staraptor. Staraptor is one of those Pokemon that's like always been on the edge of like really good, but you don't see a lot of. And I've been wanting to draft it for a while now. Like, since the last season of NNDL stopped, I was planning to make a team around Dragon type plus Staraptor plus Volcanion plus Comfey, which Volcanion Comfey I did in the MPL, so I changed my plans a little bit. But Staraptor and Dragon type still were standing strong, and I was like, you know what, this is as good a time as any. This thing is kinda good. It's like, normal Flying type is a very good typing. And this thing just gets a lot of like really solid moves. Because it gets Double Edge and Breakbird, which are both stab and reckless boosted. It gets Close Combat, which is a very big one. It gets Heat Wave, surprisingly enough. It doesn't have a good attack. Pursuit is a good option. U-Turn, of course. It is a bird, so it can roost. It's just like, it has so many good options. It has the final Gambit set, which could help me by just eliminating one Pokemon from a team, which is in itself huge. And it's like, it has good stats. Plus, Intimidate in draft is extremely useful because you know what your opponent has, and if you your Intimidate, like say they have like a really good ground type, you can bring this in and intimidate them and eat a hit and then roost back up, and this is a very solid Pokemon, and I'm really happy that I got it. Hidden Power is of course still banned, so I need to watch out for that. Tailwind options. Tailwind plus Kyurem. Yeah. I can Tailwind into Final Gambit. And then bring out Kyurem and start beating stuff up. Really insane strategies with this. And also it's just good as like a choice user clicking buttons. In the MPL I drafted Corviknight, and I remember when I drafted, I wanted a Steel type to add to this, because a Steel type is just always good in draft. In the MPL I got Corviknight, and it was a very close pick between Corviknight and Celesteela. I decided to go with Corviknight because it has more solid recovery and like better options. This is more of an offensive pick. Celesteela with the Beast Boost, of course, very scary. However, defensive sets are also really common on this, and it because it has natural book, it can like 1v1 most Pokemon. It does also just get an insane amount of coverage, plus Leech Seed, which is Leech Seed on this is really good because grass types don't really want to come in on me. So I can really chip stuff down with this, and if anything, I can also just run the Meteor Beam set and just go ham on the team, because that set is still insanely good. It is just like Celesteela is one of those monsters that's really hard to prepare for because of the amount of coverage it gets. It has Grass, Fire, and Steel, which those three alone are cause for trouble. And then it gets random stuff like Mega Horn and Rock Slide, Zen Headbutt, which, like, what are those doing there? It has flying coverage, of course. If I really wanted to, I could run Explosion. It has so many options. Imagine a choice band Beast boosted Explosion from Celesteela. But yeah, really solid pick. Also, if you notice, my last 3 picks have been kind of high cost. I put the cost in the top right, which is for those wondering what that number was, that's the cost of the Pokemon. So I was kind of starting to think like, hey, I should keep an eye on that. And that's why I wanted a Mega next. And I kind of went with a bit more of a budget Mega, but also Heracross. Mega Heracross is great because it has, like, I think the all-time highest attack. Oh no, wait, there is Mewtwo Mega, who has like 5 more points in attack. This is the second strongest attack in the entire game. And there is nothing really that can check both Kyurem and Heracross at the same time. There's very little counters to this combo. And just for that alone, like, it's not that fast, it has terrible Spatak, but very strong. And it also gets, because its ability is Killing when it Mega Evolves, it gets Swarm, Guts, and Moxie before it Mega Evolves. I could, if I wanted to, run Guts, and if I get status, just never Mega Evolve it. Or I could run Moxie, get an attack buff, and then Mega Evolve. And then this thing with Skill Link is also just a massive threat because it is it has Seed, Bullet Seed, it has the Fighting type multi-hit attack, it has a Bug type, it has a lot of multi-hit attacks that always hit. But also it just has like Close Combat, High Horsepower, Mega Horn, which are just insane options. Knockoff makes this really good, Stone Edge. But also, Spikes. This gets Spikes. Surprisingly useful on this, actually. random stuff like Confide. Hold up, I want to run a false swipe set sometimes. If I can get this in low, I can reversal and do insane damage with this. Smackdown is really helpful to like my ground type. Stuff like that. It like surprisingly useful. But also 185 attack. And it has good bulk, so it can like I can decide to trade this. It's just like it could come in very clutch, and I'm really hoping that it does. And it's just gonna like hit hard and open up the way for other Pokemon. Like for instance. Okay, who is surprised? Who is honestly surprised? I got Comfey. Comfey in draft is insane. It's so hard to prep for. It is a... Like, it's not insanely powerful, but Triage makes it so hard to prepare for. This season, nobody drafted Rain, which is a kind of a surprise. Comfey always destroys Rain, so I'm always hoping there's a Rain user in there. But yeah, Comfey is gonna do big things. We all know what it does. Triage, Training Kiss, Giga Drain. And then it gets like Stored Power, Calm Mind, Defog, Hubel. It gets Encore, which could like potentially really useful. Magic Code, Pain Split, Leechy, Taunt, Trick Room. I don't know if I would ever use Trick Room, but Trick Room. It is a cleric, yes, but also this thing sweeps. It just sweeps. So it's just very hard to prepare for. Quagsire. I wanted a ground type. Quagsire is Quagsire. This thing is bulky. Celesteela plus Quagsire is kind of insane to prepare for, because there's nothing that hits both unless you have like Arctozolt, who can or like an electric grass type, something like that you need to deal with both of these at once. Quagsire has great HP, has the Unaware, has Water Absorb. I could even run Damp to prevent like explosions. Also, this month's stats are super aesthetically pleasing, because 95, 85, 85, 65, 65, 35, everything ending on 5 and then in pairs of 2. That's just nice. But yeah, Quagsire, great at what it does. It walls everything, it gets Recover. It has stuff like Haze and Toxic, and it just like Scald is also very good. It has Recover, and it has also like stuff like Rock Coverage, Yawn, High Horsepower is good. Focus Punch, I kind of want to run a Focus Punch set at some point because it's funny. It has Recover. Okay, but yeah, this is like a proven solid Mon in draft, so I think I could do like really good with this. And next Mon actually kind of helps that, because don't mind that. Look at him. He's so round. Skuntank. Skuntank is another one of those Pokemon with an insane typing that's really hard to break. And I'm kind of banking on Skuntank plus Quagsire plus Celesteela to wall like everything. But also besides walling, because Skuntank does like... It's only weak to ground, of course. It doesn't have reliable recovery, which is the big thing. It has Aftermath, which is kind of nice. Also Haze as an option again. But also, simple stuff like Memento or Roar can put in a lot of work in draft. Memento could allow me to set up with something. Roar is good for hazing, phasing out. This gets fire coverage, which is kind of big. I could actually run Burning Jealousy on this to catch something that wants to set up on me and burn it. I have Corrosive Gas. Underrated move there. Corrosive Gas, which removes all Pokemon held items, which... Oh, adjacent Pokemon, not all Pokemon. Which I could use to really disrupt some strategies. I could get rid of, like, scarves and stuff like that, bands. I could also, like, remove lefties or Eviolite, even better. Eviolite shouldn't go in on me because... Oh wait, I don't? It doesn't get knockoff. That's a surprise. And also, this has 84 speed, which is faster than most Pokemons. So a Poison Jab or a Play Rough or something like that is also like really, really good. Taunt is useful on a somewhat faster one. Stench is also, Stench could come in clutch because it is a flinch chance. Aftermath just is 3 damage. Keen Eye is no lowered accuracy, which is niche but can be useful. I don't think it's gonna come into play much, but it's still nice. Bellossom, if you're probably starting to notice, we're getting in a bit of the low, like, cost ones here. Bellossom is 4 or 5 points. I think absolutely worth it. This one has pretty decent stats. It has good defense, good speed F, pretty good speed. The only thing is speed, but it gets Quiver Dance, and more importantly, it gets Strength Sap. Strength Sap is one of the most broken moves in Pokemon, in my opinion, because you get to lower their attack and usually heal almost back to full. On a bulky set, that's really hard to deal with. The only big thing is this doesn't have much to hit steels or fire types. Mostly steels because Sludge Bomb does do a decent chunk to fire types. But then again, it forces steels in, and it does get Drain Punch. Drain Punch isn't good, but Drain Punch plus Swords Dance. Like, imagine Quiver Dance, Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Giga Drain. I am boosting my Spadef, and I'm getting health back from steel types, and it's just like, it gets a lot of really, really good setup, a lot of like pretty good coverage, stuff like Moonblast, Sludge Bomb. It gets Sleep Powder and Stun Spore. It has Synthesis, it has Toxic. It's just like surprisingly like insane. Does it? Ooh, I'm gonna keep that one in the back. That's kind of heat tech. But yeah, this is for the only 5 points. I think this is 100% worth it. And I have a grass and I have a water type, so fire type following next. Simisear. I thought I only had 3 points left. And for 3 points, Simisear was actually kind of the best option for a fire type, because 101 speed is faster than everything I have so far, and a lot of Pokemon are base 100 or base 95 speed. Simisear outspeeds that, and while its stats aren't like amazing, it still has pretty, like, its attack and attack are both 98, which makes it hit decently hard. It gets some good stuff like Fire Blast and Focus Blast. It has Home Claws, it gets Knockoff, it gets Nasty Plot, and more importantly, it's a fast mon with Taunt, Toxic, Wisp, and Yawn, making it like a really good at spreading status around. This was voted the worst mon, I think, in one of like the polls. They decided that Simisear is the least favorite mon of most people. I think it's gonna be able to put in some work. It's not insane, but for 3 points, definitely worth it. and also Gluttony could potentially, with a substitute set, really come in clutch. So I could do some funny stuff with that. And then last off, I have, because I thought we had 110 points. We had 120 points. Miss Magius is a mon I think I've actually never used before. And it has, also, when we're talking aesthetically pleasing stats, look at that. Sticksy, 105, 105, 105. That's just like so nice. It's a fast, kind of glass cannon-y attacker. 105 is really nice speed. It is a ghost, so it has access to whiff. And this last slot, I found out I had 10 extra points, which, you know, bonus, extra Pokemon. And I was deciding between a ghost or an electric type. I was looking at Rotom, like regular Rotom, but this has slightly better stats. And this also gets Thunder and Thunderbolt and Thunder Wave. So it has options for electric coverage, which makes it way better. It also, again, has Memento, has Pain Split, it has Perish Song, it has Curse, which could be nice. Magic codes could be potentially useful. And beyond that, it's just a pretty hard hitter. With Shadow Ball being like just a really good option. Let's see, I'm looking through the niche. I could actually Mean Look Perish Song someone. That's actually kind of fire. Mimic could be cool. Hypnosis Nightmare is a thing I can do, I think. Do you get Hypnosis? Why do you not get Hypnosis? You have Dream Eater and Nightmare. Why do you not have Hypnosis? Psych Up could be clutch. Skill Swap. It has Levitate, which Levitate in of itself is a really cool ability. And even though I'm not weak to ground, it's still gonna be something that puts in a decent chunk of work. So yeah, really happy with this pack in particular. I think this plus Staraptor is a really fun core to use. So I'm really hoping they get to put in some work. And yeah, really interesting draft here. And it's gonna be interesting to see if it like works out. I think this is only a 10-week season because we won't be able to do a full season before Gen 9 comes out. But still, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think I got some fun stuff lined up. So, with that, I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.